So the straw, I guess we sort of segued over to a discussion about semi-occluded phonations. That's sort of the fancy symposium word for buzzing through a straw, one, or two, buzzing on nasal consonants, which there's a lot of content in the Four Pillars of Singing about buzzing on nasal consonants. Lip trills and tongue trills. These are 4 different kinds of workouts that all sit in the same family of workouts called semi-occluded phonations, which stands for partially closed phonation. You probably don't have to remember that, but just know that if that the straw technique, lip trills, tongue trills, and nasal consonant buzzing are all attempting to do the same thing for you. But I will tell you that they all sort of hit the voice from a different angle. They're not identical.
Yep.
They're not identical. But they all sort of sit in the same family of trying to get the same objective for you, which is to balance the subglottal and supraglottal phonation threshold pressure, balances the respiration and the compression of the vocal folds. There's an equation here that this isn't literally the equation. I'd like to know what it is maybe one day, but something to the effect of the measurement of force, the measurement of vocal fold squeeze times square root of the pressure or the energy of the respiration striking the vocal folds. So this is wind. These are my vocal folds. Respiration striking the vocal folds times square root of whatever the math is on that. The compression on the vocal cords equals balanced, optimized, healthy voice, singing better, sounding great. That's what semi-occluded phonations, in a scientific perspective, are doing for us. I recommend that you guys take Draven up on his advice with the straw or nasal buzzing, as it's described in this book. It's important. I'm at the moment I'm being reminded of a documentary I recently saw on Jimi Hendrix. It was pretty cool. Maybe some of you have seen it. And they're interviewing family members, friends. He actually was from Seattle. And you guys, any of you that come to Seattle for the 1-week boot camp that Draven and I will be hosting here soon, maybe we can all go like see some historical stuff on Jimi Hendrix and Bruce Lee and some of our famous Seattle people here. But so I'm watching this thing. They're talking to some homies and family members, girlfriends, all this stuff. And they all said, one thing they all said about Jimi Hendrix was the dude would carry his guitar around everywhere he went. This is before he became famous. He going to a party, there's Jimmy with his guitar. You know, going out to dinner, there's Jimmy, took his guitar with him. Apparently, I mean, he lived with his guitar, and it sure sounded like it. Now, you take that example, and you look at semi-occluded phonations. Walking around the streets of Seattle all day with a straw, you know, and buzzing, or doing nasal buzzing. One of the things that I tell my new students at the end of their first lesson is I say, in addition to what you learned today, you are Mr. or Mrs. Buzz-a-Lot. You're Mr. and Mrs. Buzz-a-Lot. You're going to be buzzing in the shower, buzzing in the car, buzzing walking to work, buzzing before you go to bed, buzzing any chance you can, short of being thrown into an insane asylum by your friends and your family. You're buzzing a lot. Because if you do this, or you buzz on nasal consonants or lip trills a lot, if you do a lot of that, it's not going to make you a great surly, but what it will do is make your voice super healthy, super balanced with respiration. It's just great vocal health. And therefore it happens to be really great for warming up, for singing.
Yep.
So it's good. I'm glad we had a chance to talk about semi-occluded phonations. That's important.
That's really important. It doesn't come up a lot.
Really important. I know, it's really super important. And it's such a simple thing, too. It's, learn how to buzz through a straw, learn how to do the nasal stuff, and you're off and running. That alone will heal a lot of voices. Kevin Ash. Once I heard
talking about the Bernoulli
Rob's
effect,
explanation of Bernoulli,